So today we are in John G. and Susan H. Dupuis Jr. Wildlife and Environmental Area. This is the area that we shot the footage of the giant creatures. And we do camp outs here sometimes for crypto reality. And anyway, the creature was shot on one of these roads. It was just off the side in one of these big clumps of trees, and it was around a corner. You could see the footage was around a corner, so I wouldn't put it past this being the actual spot. You got stuff going on here that will freak you out, man. Freak you out. Dupuis, and then we're heading over to Grassy Preserve in Palm Beach County. That's over here, and that's the encounter I had. We're going back 2015, March 25th. And I was over here, and actually this is where the headquarters are, right here. I tracked something in these woods, and then all of a sudden, somehow it was behind me, and I know how now. I walked right past him. He said, "Okay, you gonna follow me? I'm gonna stage up over here, and then you walk by." And as soon as I passed him, he moved and flanked me, and then ran out here, and I followed him. And by the time I got there, I think he was out here, or even possibly over here. Who knows? But the video is awesome. You guys are gonna be like, wow, it's like real time. Found his track. Today on the Bigfoot Researcher's Journal. Alright guys, so here's the video. I've got the highlight circle a little bit further down the road, another clip, still walking, not really paying attention, and we've got a huge creature coming up, and it's enormous. Huge bone structure there, and then he opens his mouth. Looks like he opens his mouth. So we got movement, and you see the figure rising. Woo! Then we've got a little bit of eye shine coming out of the orbits there. We got this huge bone structure. That's a gigantic hybrid kind of bone structure, and we've got the lower jaw here. And as you can see right here, boom, he opens his mouth. I think it's shock. I think he was like, because we were right there. And we even get the rise on the brow, as though it's kind of surprise, right? So he's looking, boom, he comes up, whoa, and here we are, coming down the road. Remember this last video with that giant creature from Dupuis? Big. Exactly what we described is you can see this whole thing moving behind these trees. Watch this. You can see it moving. It's real simple to see that. You can see there's a tree in front of it, but this whole thing, and that appears to be an eye. This is what we were describing, this enormous type of creature, but this is a road. And we can bring down the exposure, and we can see, well, this is what's in there. This is what we're describing. So when we play around with exposures, we can get some value in this data and solidify a little more of our understanding with a little more critical examination. We can see there's something back there moving, and it's enormous. Now this, that's pretty nuts, but there it is. See this thing? You can see his eye, both of his nostrils. There's another one with him, but there's a clan of these things in Dupuis. What's up, guys? This is part of our 10 years of insanity. We're going back with this video to Grassy Preserve. God damn, dude. Week 1 of the Bigfoot Researcher's Journal. I went there because I had an encounter with a creature on the east end, the far east end of Grassy Waters. I came out of the bushes, and all of a sudden the FWC office was right there. So I'm thinking, well, what was that I was hearing in here? Because I was following something, and then all of a sudden it was behind me, and it freaked me out, and I heard it move out, and it went on 2 legs walking. So I followed it, and this is what happened. Okay, this is where the noises were just coming from, and this is a track that I just walked up on. Clearly barefoot. It's not that big, maybe 14 inches. somewhere in there, but a significant track. Something was just here. I heard it walking. Looks like it went this way. So yeah, this is like lesson one. Batteries go dead quick. So I don't think people realize the gravity of having these encounters and what it does, right? And what are you going through? It's sheer terror, because you realize, and this is like a daytime deal, right? This is like a juvenile 14-inch track. This is nothing. And yet it's foundationally disruptive. Everything that you think and know, that, and it's like it seeps in even deeper, right? So like you have these realizations instantaneously in your physical core. It's the first time you've ever feel or felt like prey when these things are around. And you need to understand that that's what's going on. And that's why this is so significant to so many people, right? Which brings us to the disrespect that the entire government, academic, and really social communities show people who are aware that these hominoids are real. And that is the way to actually describe it. We're no longer ignorant like the rest of the people who engage in this ridiculousness of denial. These encounters are very real. And my suggestion is, if you have the opinion that any of this isn't happening, get your boots on. The directions are all right there for you. Walk the road. Show up at the spots. Put in some effort. We'll be here waiting. We know what's going on. So with all this going on in Dupuis, we're at the back area here near the family campground, and we're noticing topographical features that appear to be old boundary lines that have been allowed to return to their natural state. These are the types of things from satellite that we want to pay attention to when we're looking for these new places to research. As you can see, we've got this road that comes in and goes all the way to the observation platform over here, which you can get, by the lake. There is and was activity with orbs all around this pavilion that's there. And you pull in, and then you can walk over to the pavilion here. And at night, we sat here, and there were orbs flying all over this tree line, all over this lake. We think the creatures are using the bank. You could plainly hear creatures on the other side in these bushes right up against the lake. So these are the kind of things that I look for on the map. And when I see that they've allowed old ditches to dry up and return, and this is basically an old boundary canal. This is an attempt in the past to cut this place off from anyone coming in. This is a boundary, and so when we look at it, we've got all kinds of interesting things going on topographically, where we've got these pock marks all over the map. Well, one of the things that we're recognizing is that these extremely large creatures will dig a hole, and it's interesting to me that we find similar size holes all around this place, and even holes that kind of come in with no explanation in the middle of roads. There's some interesting stuff going on here in Dupuis that is worthy of investigation, where the topography is concerned and why things are the way they are. We have to imagine that when somebody was trying to divvy up this property, they were doing investigations with boots on the ground. And we've already identified that their habit is to allow the place to return to its natural state. This particular area is very valuable as a research, but this quadrant in particular, on this back edge here, is absolutely incredible. And I actually had my sighting of the Sasquatch running next to the road back in this area here, we were on our way down to try to film some alligators in this area. Turned out there were only a few. Sometimes you get down, there's about 100 of them. They're trying to mate, and the males are fighting. It's pretty ridiculous. But this area is where I saw the creature. And if you go down in here, you have these little sand bridges that go all the way across. And then there's trails that lead back in here. Always stay on the trails. We've tracked the creatures and seen them here. This is where I had a device jamming my cameras. So that's that back edge of the corner there, and you would come in on the front, and immediately from this first entrance right here off of 76, you would make that first left and then drive all the way around on this road. And we've done this 100 times. You just keep going, and of course, you know, there's bushes all the way along this thing, but you're gonna hit this turn in the road, and then you kind of gotta get back on it and head all the way down. But once you're in the middle here, you can drive this way and go down, or you can go in. And we usually drive around, and you just stay on this road all the way to the back. But this back area is very valuable for research. I've had sightings and encounters back here. The creature that I saw back in here during the camp out was way over 10 feet. It was probably 12 to 14 feet. It was moving at a good 25 to 30 miles an hour, running next to my truck. I was driving on this road, coming back from the gators, and right about in this area, he was right in here running alongside the other side of the canal. Plain as day, enormous hominoid, gray hair, silver hair, sparkling, and it looked like he had white gray skin. He was booking down this trail. We actually all slammed on our brakes and got out and started filming, and we captured several different creatures on film from that encounter.
Oh, you found some gators?
So this is what the habitat looks like, and we got some big gators this time.
Wow.
But that's the side that the creature was running on.
Deep country. It's not uncommon to see 10
There's your
12-foot
10-footers.
There's a couple of nice ones sliding in.
Were you able to...
All right, so this is the next morning, and we're taking a look at where I saw that huge creature running.
You can see there's a foot trail.
We're in
It runs all the way around this thing.
on the other side.
See this foot trail in here, guys? We're inside the forest on the other side of the tree line where I saw the creature running yesterday. And
All right, check it out, guys. Look at this thing on my left side of the screen there. It's flying around. Here it comes, slowing it down, 10% speed. Boom, look at this thing. One more time, a little bit slower. And what we end up with is there is a piece of technology, unidentifiable technology, flying around that pine tree on the left side there. You see it? Well, we caught it. We caught it good, and you're about to witness it. We're in the editor, and we are looking at a miniature unidentified flying object that looks like a tube of chapstick. Only guess what? And this is the weird part. It's actually red, white, and blue. How about that? Watch this footage. Watch the right side there in that highlight. Whoop! Comes flying into the picture. From my right, after it zips past me on my left. And then it takes off. Slow it down so you can see it. Zips off to the right. Nuts. Let's take a look at that again. The miniature UFO that happens to be the colors of the American flag. Wow. What a coincidence. And guess what? My battery died right then too. Technology. Technology. Technology is in our way. So right here, this is where it first appears, and you can see it kind of hanging through the little bushes there. Sometimes it looks like it's flattened out, and sometimes it looks like it's like a tube of chapstick, like, you know, it's more than likely what it is. And when it moves so fast that it appears to flatten out. But that's just the blur of this thing moving so fast. When we watch it as we move forward in this, you're going to see it. It flies up by that tree and it goes around it. But it makes a jump from right there to right there in the blink of an eye. And I couldn't find it in the frames between. You can see it flies by that pine tree right there. We can identify that it is indeed there. It's not on the lens. And then it comes back around, circles back around, and comes in front of me as I try to film the Sasquatch. Then my camera dies. So here it is up by the tree there on the left-hand side. You can see it's coming around the tree. Let's look at it a little closer. Beautiful. So right here, I'm coming around the tree, and there's the Bigfoot. There's absolutely no sign that any of this is going on. Right here, you can see the orb slide right up in front of my lens in between me and my subject, the Bigfoot, which is right there. Okay, so what we have is we have a couple of Sasquatch lying off the side of a trail. You can see him right there as the frame moves forward. You get a good look at what one of these Florida wild men look like. And then this is where my camera dies. 3 batteries in a row, some kind of technology, and a bunch of Bigfoot equals a dead battery. Hopefully. What we have here is a Bigfoot, and I was trying to film this creature. You can see his forehead here. There's some hair hanging down in his face. You can see this creature here. There's other ones here. There's another one down here. They were hanging out. It's from the camp out. There's a couple of them. There's a whole group, right? There's stuff up in here, you guys. There's a creature. You can see its eyes. But this guy I was trying to catch, and this thing moved up in my way as I was trying to film these creatures. And then you guys saw what happened. You can see this thing. Look at this. That's Florida Sasquatch, buddy. On film. Stick around, man. It's going to be a good episode. We're going to take a look at this Bigfoot, but we're also going to take a look at what killed my camera, which is, unbelievable in its own right, guys. I mean, unbelievable what's been going on here. Look at this thing flying around. Look at this. Let's take a look at it. On the Bigfoot research.
When you go to Grassy Waters, one of the first things that you'll notice, and I'll try to get down to street view so we can take a look and you guys can actually see what it is. Hopefully I can actually get down there. Yeah, here we go. And it doesn't look like much. It just looks like, kind of like a fenced off swamp. And I was part of the crew that put some of this fence up. As you can see, the barbed wire faces in. This is that fence I was talking about, right? And it's, I think there was some controversy over whether that was actually the truth. And it is. You can see it's right there. If you go down this road, you'll see it. The fence, barbed wire faces in like a jail. See? That's right, boys. So, when you go in here and you get past this area and it has an electric gate, right? You have to be out by sundown. But the FWC's main headquarters or main offices are in here. And I have actually tracked hominoids right in, just on the other side, probably somewhere by these trees, out in the swamp a little ways, and then you get into this dense stuff. He was in there, and we played cat and mouse with each other. I was tracing him for a minute, and then all of a sudden he was behind me somehow, and he took off. He was toying with me. Okay, this is where the noises were just coming from, and this is a track that I just walked up on. Clearly barefoot. It's not that big, maybe 14 inches, somewhere in there, but a significant track. Something was just here. I heard it walking. Looks like it went this way. So yeah, this is like lesson 1. Batteries go dead quick. I just had a big old whiff come through the window here. It was probably actually back that way. We got very little wind today, so it'll be more difficult to actually pick up on them. I like it when it's a little windy, because then we get I don't know, man. It smelled like one back there, and we've caught him out here before. We had one run next to the car, if you guys remember. Impossible encounters? Yeah, we got a lot of that. Very big old dude, like ducking and running. Now, it's not that we're not allowed to be in here. You're about to see a Bigfoot run next to our car. We're not trying to give away their position so that they can suddenly vanish. So guys, here we are being trailed by a Sasquatch. We're going to watch this a few times, and you can see him. It's real blurry, but you can see him. He's running about 25 miles an hour on the other side of the bushes, keeping up with us. Watch this. Boom. You can see him duck, come from behind the tree, back and forth here. We can see he's ducking and he's running. Let's watch it again. You can see him dart across that hole. Just a black figure. And that's because, you know, obviously we're moving real quick, but this guy is booking in the prairie, in the mud, on the other side of those thick bushes. Look at that. Boom. Boom. You can see him plain as day, ducking. Boom. And he takes off. They're following us on the way in, on the road now. Keep in mind, all this was going on as the chopper was flying around out here. I filtered everything out, and you can see the forehead and the nose. It was the only frame I could get. He was moving so fast, he was just a blur. We got to be very careful today. And hopefully that thing doesn't come back. A couple times it was flying over. The one day it flew right over us. It was hanging out, following us out, all this stuff. It's like, you know, so we got to be careful. And they run so fast that they can stay ahead of you if you're driving slow. But anyway, we're trying to establish our predictability. We'll put it that way.